Okay, let's start our session for tonight. Let me just share the screen. No need to share sound, just the PowerPoint. Perfect. Okay, as we all know, our basic block or our main article that we're gonna talk about tonight is the art of presentation and how to present. And this is actually the most important soft skill you need in the business. This is, or it is the core activity of everything else. It's and everything else like is completing the presentation. And this is the only skill that differentiates between good leaders and just like followers. And the ability of presenting or being able to present determines the size of your organization. Yes, we do have running system, we do have presentation happening every day, happening almost every day. We're having it like even in different systems with different groups, all under the umbrella of the Diamonds team. But also your ability of presenting the business will take you to the next level. Why? Because first of all, when you start presenting the business for your friends, for your followers, the people around you, people take you more serious. When you are doing something, when you talk about a company or this company as if that's your own business, it's like your business and your kids' future business. And they see that you are not able to do the presentation in a proper way, and you're waiting for someone to present or waiting for timing, that still work. But people won't take you as serious as you are the one who's doing the presentation. And we don't need only to learn how to present. We must learn how to sharp our presentation, master our presentation skill. Because as I just said, it's the only and the most important soft skill I need in my business. And I'm going to break the presentation into, I call it P6, the rule of P6. Before talking about P6, I need also to emphasize in the importance of learning the presentation. So many of the times when I started my business into international growth, so many of the times it happened when I meet people in the airports, I meet people in the hotel, I get to know people when I travel around the world. Some of the guys was like the head of Red Crescent of Afghanistan. I've never been into Afghanistan in my life, but I met the head of Red Crescent in Afghanistan. I met him in Egypt. That was like few years back when I went to Egypt. I was in a trip to my team. I met him in the airport, and I was like, was standing in a smoking sign and smoking a cigarette, and he came up to me like, "Can I have a lighter?" Then we start chatting. Then he asked me, when he know that I'm Palestinian living in Dubai, he was like curious to know what I'm doing here in Egypt. Is it a pleasure? Is it like a visit? Is it a business trip? I told him I came here to teach people how to make money. So he got interested and he was like, "What do you mean?" It's like, "Are you going to give out money for people?" It's like, "No, I'm coming here." I was with my friend Muhammad Aid, Vice President Muhammad Aid. I told him I came here to teach people how to start their own business, even young, risk-free people starting an e-commerce business without a risk and building it from the comfort of their home. And we were just chatting about what we're doing and places we travel to. And on the same time, okay, we exchanged numbers and he came to our hotel after like 3 days with two of his friends. If I was not able to present, if I was waiting for my upline to show up to present him, or if I'm waiting for a system or timing of a presentation to do a presentation, I might lose that person because he's coming on a job mission by the Red Crescent. He have like two days to sit in Egypt to see everything, to finish his work and fly back. So maybe the presentation time is not good for him. Maybe the presentation system doesn't suit him. Maybe my upline doesn't exist in that way. So when I started in Afghanistan, I had more than 4,000 associates in Afghanistan. I'm not talking about Dubai, I'm talking about a previous company that I was with. It all happened because I was able to present. So you being able to present open up the opportunity for you limitless. whether it's internationally, locally, make your people take this business more serious. And for you to have reached to high income, you need a lot of number of presentations happening in your team. And when you have teams all over the world, and all of them seeing you inviting them to a webinar or waiting for your upline to present, they're going to duplicate. Whatever you do, it's a culture that you put in your team, and they're going to duplicate that. And again, it's impossible to have a system that suits all countries, suits all people, suits people timing. So many opportunities of prospect will be lost in between. But when you are starting presenting and teaching your people how to present, and tell them that I'll present for you 5 times. The next 5 times you do it, and we both do it. The third 5 times you do it and I watch. First I do, you watch. Then I do and you do. Then you do and I watch. 15 presentation. When he knows from day one that he has to start to do that, he will be listening to every presentation and writing notes. So he will be able to do it for himself. So now if I want to do any plan, I need this, like, the pipeline. You all know the pipeline. Now I want X amount of people to get into my pipeline, prospect, and X number of presentation with a certain percentage of sign up to reach to an income or monthly income. Now this conversion rate will happen when you have a lot of number of presentations happening in your team. And that's only possible when you start the culture of duplicating that with your team. So having or learning how to present, it is a must. It's not a choice. It's the master skill of our business. How to do it, we're gonna talk about it. Now, how or what is the presentation? Rule P6, presentation consists of 6 P's: purpose, profile, product, packages, plan, projections. 6 P's: purpose, profile, the second P, products, the third P, packages, the fourth P, plan, the fifth P, and 6th, projection, self-projections for the prospect. And I'm going to talk about the 6 P's one by one now. The first P is purpose. So many people have great ideas in this world, genius people, but they're still broke. Millions and millions of people who have unbelievable genius ideas that never saw the sunlight, but still broke. And they never made it, because business is not about ideas, it's about solutions. The person who gets someone idea, the most difficult thing is to create an idea. But the idea will never ever make you make wealth, will never let you to reach wealth. The person who gets your idea into execution and promote it as a solution for some need or challenges, that's the person who makes money. So you need to present your business as a solution. You need to let your prospect or the person sitting in front of you knows what is the purpose of him listening to that presentation. What are the key points? Why is he with you tonight? Why is he listening to you? So to set the right purpose for any prospect, the presentations are 3 types. It's either 1-to-1 presentation, 2-to-1 presentation, or a group presentation. So again, presentations are 3 types. Either it's 1-to-1 presentation, one second, I'm putting the guys. So the presentation is 3, as I said, 3 types. It's 1-to-1 presentation, or 2-to-1 presentation, or a group presentation. 1-to-1 presentation, when you are face-to-face explaining to your brother, your sister, your cousin, your friend. 2-to-1 presentation, when one of your downline is inviting a prospect for you to present. Group presentation, when someone of your team is edifying you to start a Zoom presentation for a group of people, or even in a hotel meeting. So Whether you're doing one-to-one, two-to-one, or group presentation, you must start by selling the solution and setting the right purpose. How do I do this? By doing what we call, write down, mind conditioning. Mind conditioning. Mind conditioning itself, it's divided into 3 parts. A, breaking the ice or playing squash. B, setting the pain or setting the hook. So mind conditioning itself, it's divided into 3 parts. Playing squash or breaking the ice, setting the pain or the purpose, and setting the hook. I will go through them one by one. First of all, breaking the ice. When you're starting presenting someone, okay, the person who come to sit with you, especially if he's not your friend, if he's a cold contact, or especially if he's invited through one of your downline, you cannot just sit and start presenting the business. You need to first, that the normal chit chat that happened the first 2-3 minutes, by introducing to each other, talking to each other, break the ice, remove the tension. Because when the person doesn't feel comfortable sitting with you, he is into a defensive mood, something like this. When someone into a defensive mood, he's not a good receptor. He's always trying to get the information and analyze it to reply back. So the first thing is you start by breaking the ice. We call it playing squash. You know, joking, some decent joke, get introduced to him, talk about yourself a little bit, let him talk about himself a little bit, break that ice thing between you and him. And when you have when you have a downline in between, the downline who is inviting that prospect for you to present have a very important job, that he first has to edify you for his guest big time, talk about you big time, so he knows, or his friend knows, that he is getting a precious time of someone important, so he will be ready to utilize every minute. And at the same time, one second, guys. I will just remove the waiting room so I don't need to admit everyone. I cannot, they removed the option of removing the waiting room. Anyway, because I don't want every time to admit people while they're coming. Fine. So the second, so the second thing, after he talks about the presenter or you as an upline, highly and edify you, to give the importance of your time for his friend, for his prospect, so his prospect will focus a lot. He has also to talk a little bit about his prospect highly. So you, the presenter, will know some more information. Through that information, you can start your conversation. Like, you discover out that he's an engineer and you've been an engineer. You discover out that he's an accountant and you've been working as an accountant. So you've got some common subject to talk about. You know that he was working with this company, and you know that your friend, your father was there. So you've got something common between. So people feel relieved when they find something common between to talk about. That's the first process of, we call it playing squash, breaking the ice. That is the first subject of mind conditioning. So I'm not gonna talk about it a lot. It's something that we all know, that's in our normal life. We call it the first 2-3 minutes, 5 minutes, chit chat, breaking the ice, playing squash, to make the atmosphere feel more comfortable. Now, the second thing is setting the pain and selling the solution, not the idea. As I just mentioned, business is all about...
Sorry, excuse me, brother.
Yeah.
What is the word? Is it setting the pain?
Yes, setting or creating the pain and selling solutions. I'm going to explain.
Okay.
Now, actually, solution before the pain. Like, sell your concept as a solution, not as an idea, and set the pain. How to set the pain? It's like, because you want to create a solution. There's a pain, there's a challenge, then you present your business as a solution for that challenge. I'm going to go through that. Now, what I mean about selling, as I just mentioned, I will just repeat it. Business is all about solution, not ideas. For example, if I came to you and tell you this iPhone, let's say 12, this one, okay? It has A4 new processor that can process 20 trillion mathematical operation per second. It has a front bus speed of like 2 mega or whatever, and it can process like 10 million pixel per inch, and the cameras. I'm talking about the most expensive thing on the iPhone, the very technical part. And you are someone who knows nothing about technicality. And after I tell you this, let's say you're an accountant, like Brother Sajjad, and you know nothing about technicality of the business. Okay, you know nothing about the technicality of the business, or of any technology, about the silicon, the microchip, the processor, the front bus speed, all this 3D layers technology, touch technology. You know nothing about it. And I've been explaining for you the most expensive thing in the iPhone, which for you it's like Hebrew. You understand nothing, and I think it's only like $1,000. Will you be interested to buy? I don't think so. Because I was selling you an idea. What is the idea behind this great device? But that idea serves no solution to one of your problems. But let's say Brother Sajjad is an accountant and he's handling the accounts of 20 different companies. And he's having a hell of time working with the Excel sheet. Having all those bills and numbers, and always he have this problem, he have to revise, and the company sent revised version, and he spent every day 6 to 8 hours just like doing those revision. And I told him, Brother Sajjad, this iPhone, it has a new accountant. It's like an exclusive, a new accountant software that comes with the iPhone that will help you to manage up to 20 companies' bills and accounts, and it's only $1,000. Now, Brother Sajjad, will you be interested to buy it?
I'll jump for it.
That software may cost $50. And the technicality that I explained before, it's the real cost of the iPhone that costs hundreds of dollars. But he was not ready to buy the iPhone, although I explained all about the technical stuff that costs too much, because that idea is not bringing any solution to his life. But he was interested to invest $1,000 for a software that costs $50 because he knows it comes with the iPhone, and that software solves one of his problems. So the number one rule into your presenting is just don't start presenting immediately. We have to create the purpose. As we said, the 6P rules: purpose, profile, product, packages, plan, projection. We are in the purpose. And the purpose, we said, it's mind conditioning, first playing squash, breaking the ice. Then now try to sell your business as a solution, your idea as a solution, not as an idea. Because you could be talking, just the example we mentioned right now in the iPhone, you could be talking about the most expensive thing in the iPhone, but the person is not willing to invest $1,000. You know what? My daughters, I've teach them something. Alhamdulillah, I have 3 daughters. May God help me raise them in a good way that make God happy and be the reason for me to go to heaven.
Ameen, ameen.
All of us. I taught my daughter this. I told them, Daddy, listen, whatever you need is my responsibility. Whatever you want is our responsibility. For example, my younger daughter, she's in grade 4. She has a tablet, Samsung tablet. It's a good tablet, functioning well. Her friend, she just bought the new iPad, the new one. And the girls, they're playing a game called Roblox, okay? The kids, they love this kind of game, Roblox, building cities and houses and getting virtual money. I actually push them for such games that, build the brains and make them be responsible from day one, that you gotta work, build your house, do this, do that. You gotta, trade, do a business, like, from the childhood, it's like engraving in the stone. So she came up to me and she said, Daddy, I need iPad. You're my dad, you gotta buy it for me. I said, no, we accepting something. Whatever you need is my responsibility. I'm your father. But whatever you want, you should convince me, because it's our responsibility both. You've got your Samsung tablet. It's worked perfectly for your online. It's like a widescreen, worked perfectly for your online education, and it's very good. Now, why you want that iPad? It's because you have that Roblox game. It's because your friend bought it. So it's not a necessity, right? It's something luxury. So no problem, I can get it for you, but you need to work it out. What do you mean that you're gonna raise some money? So she started raising some money. So imagine she was ready to spend her saving on buying a tablet just to play Roblox and to feel good with her sister, with her best friend. Yes, I helped her, like she raised up like 1,600 dirham. I paid 1,000 dirham for myself. So, but the idea is like she was saving for 2, 3 months from whatever money she gets from the blah blah blah, and she was ready to put all her saving on just having an extra device that could allow her to play Roblox. It's not because the new iPad, the security, the technicality, even she's a kid. When we decide to buy anything, the decision is based on emotion and we justify it by logic. When you decide to buy something or to get something, the decision is based on emotional decision and we justify it by logic. Because whenever we want to justify any decision we make, we're masters at that. So here, our presentation should not be started as someone, I'm showing you the idea I have. No, I need first to create a purpose for him to listen. I need first to create a pain. To present my business opportunity as a solution of that pain. Now you're telling me, what do I need to brainwash him? Yes, washing is good. Because if you don't wash it every day, then don't please get next to me. That's something for sure I can tell you. If you don't wash your dirty clothes, they will stay dirty. And if you don't wash people's mind with some conspiracy theory and some broke theory and rat race theory you've been through for a long time, you won't be able to put your solution to go through. So the first thing I do is I always start creating pain. After having the first 2, 3 minutes chit chat, breaking the ice, putting some decent joke, having a nice atmosphere, a welcoming, friendly atmosphere. And by the time I talk with him more, I grab more things he talk about. So the first thing in our presentation, if you see, and this is actually, it's there in our presentation, when we first talk, I first talk about the idea I started with the e-commerce, and I had so many people who did not believe in me, and I have few people who believed, but over the course of 5 years, we expanded worldwide. And whatever business we want to talk about, we have to study the industry. I still didn't talk about the second P, which is the profile. I'm still talking all about the purpose. Why is this? E-commerce is booming. Why is this? The top 10 companies in the world are the service companies. So, even the slides are put in a way that move with the sequence of the 6 Ps: purpose, profile, product, packages, plan, projection. So I'll back to the handling objection. So, not handling, it's setting the pain and setting the hope. Now, what do I mean by setting the pain? Now we're convinced that we need to present solution, not idea. So one of the very famous thing nowadays, we have millions and millions of pain to be created. Why? Because when you drive, all of us knows that speed kills, right? But usually when we speed up with a car and you pass by an accident and someone who was terribly hit by that accident, subconsciously, for example, if you've been driving over 140, when you saw that accident for like next few 10 minutes, you will be slowing down to 80 and 90. But previously, you know that speed kills. But what happened when you saw that? That's power of visualizing. So yes, we know people are aware of the challenges. Yes, we know people are aware of the rat race. Yes, we know people are aware, but the power of visualizing thing make the thing crystal clear in front of them. So it reminds. And one of the example I use in my presentation before starting the presentation, or how to get this into a solution, I talk about the rat race. And I talk, for example, Muhammad is sitting after that. I think, okay, bro, Muhammad, I know that, I invited you because I know I wanted to share with you a brilliant business opportunity. And I will get it into a story. And, one of the things that I've seen so many people are getting off, I use America as like, because America is like the biggest economy in the world, but I used as a standard example because they have so many standard examples. Do you know that more than 69% of Americans, more than 69% of Americans, Peter can hear me well, they have less than $1,000 savings? More than 69% of Americans, they retire by the age of 65, and they have less than $1,000 of saving. That's an official statistics. Why that? It's because of something we call the rat race. What is the rat race? It's our 25 to 65 journey. When we graduate from college, we started working and we find a good job, and we started working with a good job. And every year in the normal situation, we get an uprise of almost 2.4%. The average uprise in the salary in US is 2.4%. But the inflation eats up 1.8% of that. So if we are into a normal, not a recession situation, the normal uprise in salary every year is 2.4%, and the inflation is 1.8%. So that keeps you up with 0.6%. The only thing of the rat race is what? It's like a rat. It's like a story of a rat. You bring a metal circle and you put the rat inside that metal circle. And you light a candle, just a candle, below that metal circle. What happened to that metal circle? It started to heat up. So where the rat is standing, it starts to be hot, right? So the rat starts running. And that meter circle is connected to a meter that calculates the distance. So the more that metal speed gets hot, the faster the rat runs. The more it gets hot, the faster he runs and runs and runs and runs and runs and runs. After a few hours, when you look at the meter, you figure out that the rat had run for hundreds and hundreds of meters, but physically he is on the same place. And that what happened to me. I use myself as an example. That what happened to me in the last 6, 7, 8, 10, 15 years working. I've been working so hard, and I've been looking at my financial situation, my saving. Year by year, it's getting lower and lower and lower, because every year we're having more responsibilities. We're having more money to spend, and the inflation goes higher. So we always forget to look at that side of the equation. We look at the side that every year I get an uprisal, but I don't look at the other side of the equation, which is the inflation, responsibility, and more expenses are getting higher than the uprisal of our income. So that's what we are getting into the financial cancer. So that's what made me, as an engineer working in the world 14th biggest consultant engineering company, #1 in the world, KNA, look into different business opportunities. Because I don't want to end up at the age of 65 looking for my kids to help me living. I don't want to retire at the age of 65 broke. I don't want to live the lifestyle at the age of 65, not even now. Why? What is the solution? This is why we're here tonight, brother. We're here tonight to discuss about an opportunity. Now, what I have done is I just set a pain. He knows that. He knows that very well. But what happened is what? Is the power of visualization. I made him visualize that because we both share the same challenge. We both are like employees. We both are having, you know, we only see our salary only the first day in the month. You know, the time you receive the salary, you get an SMS, teet, teet, let's say $5,000 being deposited in your account. After a few seconds, teet, 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 then you're left up with a few $100s. Deduction of loans, credit cards, bills, schools, and teet, 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 and you end up like, you know, middle of the week, middle of the month using your credit card. So we're always living on money we don't have, wishing for the money to come to cover. So we're always living on debts. And that's what get into this financial cancer. So the way we're going to visualize this, or the way I start doing it, is by presenting those solutions. And nowadays with Corona, it's much easier because we all know there's more than 138 million unemployed who just lost their job in the last 4 months. 138 million people who lost their job in the last 4 months, 5 months. Those are the registered figures. The official, God knows what are the unofficials. We all know the situation. We all know that all economies, you know, I was shocked, you know, to hear, you know, and this is this type of the things I discuss with them. It's called subliminal messages. You know, I would be discussing with my prospect. I tell him, man, you know, I was shocked, you know, 2 weeks back when I wake up on the news that Arabtic got bankruptcy. You know, it's the company that built Burj Al Arab, that built Burj Khalifa, that built the aquarium in Abu Dhabi. They have just like 1.5 years back announced the 1 million living apartment for the Egyptians. It's the biggest contracting company in Middle East. It's billion of the I couldn't imagine that. So those type of things make the person visualize the reality. So what I'm trying to do is when I start presenting my business, I make the person hungry to listen. I make the person wanted to know, do you really have a solution? Because I believe in this, ladies and gentlemen. Anyone on this earth who is listening to the presentation, a powerful presentation, focusing with all his emotion, and he has gone through a proper follow-up call, he should not say no. He should know, because there's nothing like this in the world. So that is the purpose, or the first purpose, of creating pain and setting the hook. Now, setting the hook, what do I mean by setting the hook? Now, for example, you all join a 3 days or like a 1 week workshop training, paid training for $5,000 or $4,000 or whatever, teaching you the skills of public speech. And I'm the presenter, I'm the coach. Okay, let's assume I'm the coach in that subject. I will open up the day saying this. Listen to me carefully. Now, let's say you all had participated into that program of learning you the public speech skills. It's a paid program. And in the opening day, I'm the instructor, came up on the stage and tell you this. Statistics said that people fear public speech more than they fear heights. Statistics said people, they fear public speech more than they fear anything else in their life. And I can promise you something, ladies and gentlemen, by the end of this course, you will walk away with all the required method and knowledge to make you a superstar public speaker. This what I call is the hook. That statement called the hook is I put a statement that makes the person hooked in his seat to go through until the end of the presentation. And in our example, after we talk about the reality of life, and after we talk about the rat race or whatever example come in between you, maybe you know that person, you know how he's suffering and he doesn't find a job, blah, blah, blah. I could tell him like, so what else are you gonna do, man? You can start, okay, look for a job in the morning, but what's gonna happen if you can find a job? Are you gonna stay home, do nothing? I'm bringing you tonight to discuss with you about an opportunity that you can start from your home with a system to teach and learn you. And instead of you just wasting time waiting for something, nowadays it might not come. And by the end of the presentation, I will show you a way that guaranteed can make you retire in 3 years if you do it right. And I will set for you a calculated example by the end of the presentation. In my public speech, in my group presentation, if any one of you attended one of my group presentations, before I start the presentation, I just put a challenge. And guys, by the end of presentation, I'll prove to you how in worst case scenario, you can earn up to $200,000 in 3 years. And I challenge one to prove me wrong. I challenge anyone to prove me wrong. But I'm an engineer. If anyone wants to challenge me, he must be doing it with numbers and figures and facts, because number does not lie. I do it in a sarcastic way. You know what I mean? I mean, like in a funny way. So I just put a reason to hook the people to stay until the end of the presentation, because I want them to go through it all. That's the first part. And for me, it is so crucially important. Because the presentation, you can listen to my presentation, you can do the transcript, just, you know, whatever I say, write it down and you can memorize it. I'm not gonna go through the slide by slide, but I'm gonna just talk about some skills. But this part for me is so important, is preparation for the presentation, is to prepare your prospect right. The purpose, the first point, the purpose, which is breaking the ice, creating the pain, and selling the solution, and setting the hook. Those are the 3 points that grabs the person attention. So he's really focused with you. So once I believe that he's ready, he's focused, I will start by asking him to do me 2 favors. First of all, before I start the presentation, okay, bro, so and I will start with my phone. Let's all put our phone in silent for the next half an hour to focus, because this next half an hour could be the reason to change our life together and take it for the next level. And please, if you have the second favor, please, if you have any question, write it down. Don't ask in the middle of the presentation, because the presentation is self-explanatory. By the end of the presentation, so many of your questions will be answered. And if you still have any, by the end, I'll be more than happy to answer them. So before I start, I would request these 2 things. Switch off the phone, don't let anything disturb you. Second is just delay your questions to the end of the presentation. Okay. Now I'm ready to go. Now the first part, which is the purpose, could take 5 to 10 minutes. I don't care. But what I care about is I need to feel that my prospect is ready and excited and hungry to listen. So I'll make sure that he's focusing with me. He is focusing with me. He's giving me his full attention. And sometimes I see quite often, let's say Sajjad is inviting Peter as a prospect for me to present him. Now, Sajjad did the proper edification for me, and he talked highly about Peter. He introduced us to each other. Then I did the proper mind conditioning. I did the proper breaking the ice. I did everything. Now, Peter is ready to, I start doing the presentation. What happened? Sajjad is like playing with his mobile or responding to WhatsApp. Now, this is totally nonsense, because your prospect does not trust you. Your prospect doesn't trust your upline, he trusts you. So whatever you do is a signal you're sending to him. So when he see you like answering WhatsApp or playing with the phone, or excuse me, I gotta get that call and come back. That's a total distraction. And when you distract the presenter, that disrespecting his statement and that making it feel at all not important for your prospect. And you don't want that to happen to your prospect. You're gonna lose, not your upline. Your upline is doing it anyway. So when you are telling something to someone, your behavior should represent your statement. Your behavior should represent your statement. You invited your prospect for someone important, so you gotta be there. You told him it's a great business opportunity. So he needs to see you focusing more than him so he can be more focused. He needs to learn the art of shaking the head, just like accepting the statement of the upline. So those things are transferable to your prospect, okay? So those are, okay, something important if you're inviting your prospect to your upline. Now, to make the presentation. Now, we'll go to the body of the presentation, or we call it the profile. After I did the proper preparation, there are some rules I need to set. Now, I could do the most powerful presentation in the world and put all the statistics and put all the stories of success and make it like a 2 to 3 hour presentations with all the numbers and figures and make everyone convinced. This is a sales presentation, not a network marketing presentation. Write down this. If your system is not duplicable, it serves no purpose. In network marketing, this is one of the major rules. If your system is not duplicable, it serves no purpose. Now, I could do a great presentation for 2 hours with all the facts and figures and the numbers and stories and 100% convince the prospect. And the prospect could walk away 100% convinced, but he might not join. You know why? Because I can't be as good as Khaled. I can do it as good as Peter. I can bring all this knowledge as him. He's a superstar. Your presentation should be the shortest possible to convey the proper message. Because remember, we're not trying to convince people. We're looking for the right people. To spend 10 hours with 10 people is better than spending 10 hours convincing one person. That's a rule. It's a numbers game. So the rule that you have to keep in your mind, the presentation body. What's the presentation body? Profile, product, package, and plan. Should maximum take 25 minutes. The moment you start from here, that's the profile, the company, introducing the company, the founders, the board. This all profile, right? Then here we start talking about the product. What's our product? The VIP, the cashback mall and the VIP rewards. That's the product. That's all the product, right? This is our product. Then after the product, there's also a saving example that's also selling the product. Then after that come the packages. What packages we have? Team member or PPA. Then after that comes the plan, right? Until here, these are all the plan. Okay, until here. From the starting of the profile to the end of the plan, it should be maximum 25 minutes. I'm not talking about the preparation. And I'm not talking about this. This is yet to come. I'm talking about this. From starting of the profile till the end of the plan, because we said it's 6 P's: purpose, profile, product, packages, plan, then we have projections. So profile, products, packages, plan should be done in 20 minutes, the best. You can, just like, I'll show you this presentation I had, 1 second, and let's watch at the timing. Video presentation. Latest English presentation. Latest English presentation. Let's start from when I start talking about. Okay, let's start even from here, from the beginning. My name is Khaled Shah. Now, so that's 238. Okay, here. Here. See. Five things that I every day, and nowadays everyone should learn, so that what will create a real powerful residual income for you. That's the great opportunity I wanted to show. Okay, that's 26. From 2:30, let's say 2:30 to 26. That's 23.5 minutes. I explained the full profile, product, and the 8 different income stream. That's the average time, because we want to make everything together with the mind conditioning, with the projection, with the closing, like in a course of 45 minutes. Okay? And if you see at the beginning, it's also about the purpose, setting the hook, showing the events, showing things, making the person understand what is it all about and how is the solution changed thousands of people's life. So from the moment I start talking about, where is the presentation here? Yeah, from the moment I start talking about here, from slide 7 until slide number from slide 7 to slide number 48, slide number 46, that's 20 to 25 minutes. Don't try to put too much knowledge. Sometimes more thing will confuse the people. So if you don't know how to do it, simply do a transcript. Listen to the presentation 1 time, 2 times, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, 10 times. Just memorize it. This is how I learned. When I started Doobly, I had no upline to teach me how to present. I never had a standard presentation. What I did, I downloaded all the presentation, the best presentation from the leaders. Now, that time, I downloaded all the presentation. I listened to them all. I picked the most one that affected me, and I just copy it. Brian McIntosh, he started his presentation saying, ladies and gentlemen, 2004, I don't know how was that the exact, 2004, Steve Jobs came to the world with an idea that changed the smartphone principle. And me, Brian, talking to you from my living room tonight, I'm telling you that I've got an idea that's going to change the whole online shopping game in the world. Let me introduce myself. My name is Brian McIntosh. So I start talking by himself. So I started copying his presentation until I had mine. So choose the presentation that you like the most and copy it. And you don't need 100% to do the same slides. Stick to your team presentation. Every one of you in different countries have like an upline who has done, make some slight changes to the slide to suit his culture more. No problem, stick to your team presentation, because all those presentations are coming with the same harmony. We first talk about the purpose, the profile, the product, the packages, the plan, then the projection. So the first rule in the presentation, after you finish the preparation, is that your presentation time, profile, product, packages, plan should be between 20 to 25 minutes max. You should train yourself on that. Second, when you start presenting, you need to be aware. See, your presentation, if you hear 2 guys presenting, 2 different guys, they are saying the same words exactly. They are, they have a transcript and they're reading from the same script. 2 guys. 1 guy, you could look at his presentation as a very poor presentation, And B, you could look at his presentation as very powerful presentation. Although they are saying the same words exactly. It's because how they say it. It's because B is trained, A is memorizing. What do I mean by trained? For example, now when I start talking about here, now as a presenter, one of the things I need to put in my mind that my presentation should be a sequence of ideas. It's like a series. When you're watching a series, you know, the series ends on something that's related for the next episode, right? This connection. So each slide that you are saying or talking about should refer to the next slide. There should be a connection. So for example, I'm talking about here the e-commerce revolution, right? So we all know about the e-commerce. It's the only recession-proof industry. It has broke all the records. And since 2013, it has been growing on almost 25% every single year. 2020, it has doubled because of the pandemic. And our great company Doobly, before even I move to the next slide, I know what's going to come. And our great company Doobly saw the vision of that great industry and started since 2003 to build the world's biggest cashback mall when they partnered with the world's biggest 12,000 brands, offering people up to 30% cashback and discount. So now I know what is the next slide to come. It's the company. So when I finish this, okay, let's, before I even move to the next slide, okay, let's get to know a little bit more about the company. It's a company started in the US, blah, 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 blah. And I'm not the only one. I mean, it's, I talk about the company, then let's know the board. This is the board, the directors, the CNO, and I'm not the only one saying that. See, before I talk about here, and I'm not the only one saying that. There are big newspaper in the world talking about it. Catherine Island, Donald Trump, the Jr., Net Worth, ABC, NBC, CBS, Fox. See, when I'm moving from slide to slide, I'm connecting. I'm, referring to the next slide. I'm making the way I talk looks like a consistent flow of ideas. So my presentation won't be boring. And how can I do that? When I'm trained. Because I know what is the slide going to come after this. What is the slide? Talking about the SafeMade. Here I was talking about how you're going to shop, right? It's as simple as you will just get the link of the person who invited you. You join with your email and password. Boom, you have your back office. You can choose whatever merchant you want to. Once you click on the merchant, now you are in the merchant website directly. Yes, you're buying from the merchant website. And another way of doing it is using our SafeMade. So even before I move to the next slide, and there's another simpler way of doing it is using our toolbar extension, SafeMade, that you can download in your Chrome and keep reminding you of all other deals. So while I'm moving to a slide, to the next slide, I'm referring to the next one. It's like it's a connection. And so the number one rule in the presentation, the body of the presentation, which is profile, product, packages, plan, 20 to 25 minutes maximum. The second rule is you have to be trained for what are the slides to come. So when you are presenting, it should look like a sequence of ideas. So you need to refer to the next slide while you're moving. So it's not like, and you can use the SafeMade, make search in Google, and you can show you all the brands. And yeah, we have two membership, the free membership and the VIP membership. And the VIP launch is giving you 3.5% cash back. And this is one of the services, you're waiting for to go to the next slide, then you talk. You know what I mean, guys? It's like you're not waiting to see the next slide to explain. You know what's going to come next. So while you're talking, you're using those connection to connect between slides. So your presentation will sound smooth to the person. He will be enjoying listening to it, like watching a series, that you're having a flow of ideas. So the second rule is to present your presentation body and flow of ideas, make connection between slide, harmony of ideas. You know, you're talking, you're connecting, referring slide to slide. Then the third thing is your tone of voice. One of the most boring style ever that people will make them close the presentation before they end up, when they are listening from a presenter speaking in the same tone of voice. The person starts sleeping. Okay, let me show you this. And the company have luxury products and services that's specialized, and you can just join by having the referral link of the person, and you have your website. Then you can just choose the merchant you want to choose, and after that you click on the store and it will take you to the store, and you can do your shopping in the same store. And you can also download our SaveMate browser that can help you grab all the deals and find all the deals you want. And you can also use it in Google by searching on the product you want. It will highlight all the links in Google that pays cashback and saving. And we have, guys, 2 membership packages, basic and VIP rewards. And the VIP, the paid membership, is there because it gives you almost 3 times more cashback. It gives you special discounts in hotel, and it gives you this monthly raffle that give you thousands of dollars of prizes, and also give you special coupons. And those are the extra added values of our VIP. It's boring. It sounds like someone listening to the radio. And even the guy in the radio, the podcast, he is using different tone of voice to make the person not to be bored listening to you. You've got to fluctuate your tone of voice. You've got to put some excitement into your tone of voice, especially when I want to talk about something important. You know, the VIP gives up to 4 times. You know, sometimes you need to emphasize in word. Like, for example, the global VIP membership, and when you talk, don't talk from your mouth, talk from your throat. I'm not telling you shout. I'm telling you amplify your tone of voice. Amplify, talk from here. But VIP, 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 VIP. From here, it sounds weak. From here, it sounds amplified. It sounds with confidence. Let the voice, like, you know, how the opera guys are doing it. Oh, you know, it sounds amplified. It gives excitement. Guys, people are bored from their routine, boring lifestyle. You don't want to look like a university instructor. That's bored. You don't look like, you know, someone, you know, even the new university doctors and instructors, they are mastering the communication skills. They're making the student excited to listen. You've got to put those spices by simply fluctuating your tone of voice. Increase your voice a bit, decrease the bit. You know, at important point, you need to emphasize. For example, the VIP will give up to 4 times extra cashback, earn monthly raffle cashback prices, and save up to 60% in hotels worldwide. Look at that. Not save up to 60% in hotels worldwide. Save up to 60% in hotels worldwide. See this kind of fluctuating of your tone of voice and emphasizing in important words. This is give some, you know, some spices to your meal that makes it sounds exciting. Because I can guarantee you, you can just write a transcript of the same presentation and let 2 people do the same presentation with same timing. You could listen to the first one and see that's a very weak presentation. Listen to the other, that is a powerful presentation. It's the same word, the same time, the same company. It's the way of doing it. It's the excitement. Because that excitement transfer your confidence to the person. Remember when I told you at the very beginning, all people on earth, when they buy something, if someone tell you it's a logical decision, this is not scientifically proven. That's a bull sugar. All purchases are made based on emotional decision and justified by logic. All purchases are made based on emotional decision and justified by logic. So when you present, your prospect need to feel that excitement. He need to feel that confident so you can win that game. So that is about the way of talking, the way of presenting, the way of playing with your voice, emphasizing an important word, raising your voice, lowering it, fluctuate the tone of voice, make it sound exciting. Talk from your throat, not your mouth, from your throat. You don't need to shout, okay? You don't, Khaled, you're crazy, you're shouting a lot. I don't care. I simply don't bloody care. If someone likes it, welcome. If someone doesn't like it, I don't care. If someone gonna love me, perfect. If someone gonna hate me, I don't care. I've got a lot of people love me. Why should I care? My mother taught me, Khaled, don't care about someone does not pay your bill. Why should I? That's me, c'est la vie. All the successful people I met in this life, they don't care. They respect people, they respect standard, but they don't just look, what this guy gonna think of me? What this guy gonna talk about me? If I talk like this, maybe I will not look that decent, elegant. Oh, come on, guys. You know, seriously, I'm telling you from my heart, you gotta take it this way. You don't want to take it, don't take it. I have never met any billionaire or a millionaire who is not mad. Mad in the decision or the definition of normal people. Why? Because 95% of people are broke. So this is what you think is normal. This is what normal people do. But when you hang out with those successful people, you're gonna always tell that they're different. You're gonna always tell that they're sharp. You're gonna always tell that they are bold in doing things. You're gonna always tell that they decide, then they plan. They don't stay planning for 10 years, then they take action. They take action, then they plan. Okay, I want to, let's say, for example, now go pro. Now my plan is to put, or my team, make a plan with Eric Worre that, we're gonna make a great virtual with Doobly, and Eric Worre is like the best networking school. It's like, okay, Khaled, if you want this special branding, blah, blah, you've gotta fill a 3 Zoom room with 1,000 people. I did not plan. I said, yes, give me the Zoom room. Then I put the plan. I want that to happen because I know it's like one of the best networking schools. It's the Oxford networking school, the GoPro. So when I wanted to start, Doobly, I put a plan that this month my organization should be 300 people. I decided to start. Then I put the plan. I swear on my father's life, God bless him. He died like almost since 1993. That I never thought for a minute. I was working 18 hours every day in my first 2 years in Doobly. I was working 18 single hours every day. I was moving from a presentation to a presentation to a Zoom to a Zoom. That's how I know successful people. Successful people, they launch, they don't start. And you can take it the slow mode. Yeah, of course, when I did this, because I was also 11 years in networking, I was with that experience. But also I remember the first network marketing company I joined in my life. It was called Skybus, an American company. It was in the year 2000, 1999. When I saw the presentation, I was a university student. When I saw the presentation on that day, after the presentation, I sat with the person invited me. He was Mubadda Abu Jad. And the presenter was Brother Imran Khan, by the way. I sat with the person invited me for 4 hours after the presentation. I bombarded him with questions. He got crazy. The next day, we had a lecture. After the doctor walks away, I close the door of the lecture and start making presentation for the guys in the classroom in the whiteboard. No one joined. I was shocked because I thought that, wow, I was so excited. I can bring everyone. I did not know that, but what I mean is like, I was a part-timer because I was a full-time student and a part-time doing network marketing, but I was mentally full-time. Mentally, I was all the time thinking about the project, doing actions, preparing my list, inviting people, going to the presentation, asking, getting engaged into actions. Success loves speed, and it needs your engagement, because those kind of engagement and activities and actions is like a good disease to infect your team with. It's the best disease in the world. But when every time you want to do something, you spend 10 years planning, so you're gonna spend your whole life doing 2 things. So guys, don't analyze much, don't plan much. Our business is simple, and that's our presentation. It's like you have the presentation, memorize it, prepare your tone of voice, talk with it right, practice for 20 minutes, have your slides to help you, and that's it. And at the beginning, do a very powerful preparation. Mind conditioning, which is the purpose. Mind conditioning, breaking the ice, setting the pain, setting the hook. Those things to make the prospect ready and open up to listen to you. Then get into your presentation. Present. Have talk from here. Have your presentation as a flow of ideas. Connect between the slides. Prepare for the next slide to come. Talk about it before it comes. Fluctuate your tone of voice. Talk from here, confident tone of voice. Sometimes you need to raise it a little bit. Sometimes you gotta put it down a little bit, because the same tone of voice is boring. It's like you need to grab, for example, when I get here, for example, when I want to start to talk about the income plan. Now I thought, okay, guys, okay, ladies and gentlemen, saving money is great, but making money is much more great. We've learned how to save a lot of money and get cash back on things we buy anyway in our life. But now, let me show you. See, I don't need always to raise my voice. Sometimes I could bring it down. But now, let me show you how you can help people around the world saving money on things they want to buy. And you make money every time someone saves money. Let me show you how to get a share of one of the best, fastest growing online market. Let me show you how to help families save money on things they buy anyway. Let me show you a proven system model. No geographical boundaries and an unlimited earning potential. Now, when you want to partner with such a great firm, you want to be a distributor. And to be a distributor, all what you need to do is to buy a bulk of our product. The first package for you to be a distributor with our company is to buy 12 VIP memberships. Those memberships that we saw that it's a no-brainer. People can get the value 10 times. So once you bought a 12 VIP membership at the price of $495, which is a discounted price, because the price of 12 VIP is almost $600, but because you're buying it in bulk, it costs you $495, plus $99 for your business license, Doobly Academy, and Big Al Leadership Academy altogether, $594. Now you become a business associate. Now, for more serious people who wanted to take it to the higher level and want to work with corporate, there's another package called the PPA package, and I explain the benefit. And no matter what package you choose, you become a business associate. Now you're entitled for 8 income streams. See, 8, not 8 income streams, 8 income streams. I emphasize, when you emphasize in word, you're getting what I'm talking about, guys, right? You're understanding what I'm talking about. These are all skills that drags your audience attention, because you want the prospect to stay focused with you. You want the prospect to keep boom. Okay, so I think we talked enough about the first 4 or 5 P's, which is profile, which is purpose, profile, product, packages, and plan. And we talked about the skills needed. Now let's talk about the last point of our presentation, which is projection. Now, after you finish explaining about your income plan, that's the first slide. You talked about the product, the profile, the company, and the e-commerce industry. You talked about our product, which is the VIP membership and the biggest cashback mall in the world. You talked about the packages, team member and PPA. You talked about the plans, the 8 income streams. Now, you finished your presentation. Now we go to the last point, which is as important as the first point, which is projection. You need to project possibilities, because now your prospect have seen a lot of numbers, have seen a lot of compliance, but he doesn't have a Core i7 processor in his mind to process all those income plans and all this number, and he can see what's possible and how big he can make. So you need to talk about projection. Projection is talking about the person. And while you're explaining the presentation, you don't say that this is me. See, in the presentation, well, what's written here? You. This is you. This is you. We always project the person. That's you. The person is interested about him, not you. He's interested about what he can make, not what you make. So the first or the last 3 slides of the presentation are for the purpose of the projection. Is projecting what's possible for him. Is projecting what he can make. Is projection what could happen. And look what happened here. We start by asking a question after you say this great business opportunity, no-brainer product, very affordable startup kit. How long do you think you need with the support of the team and the existing system webinar and your upline and the people supporting you to bring your first 2 business associates? 1 day, 1 week, 1 month, let's say a month. Then I go with the power of duplication. If everyone in your team duplicates that and stays the whole month to bring 2, at the end of the year, you'll have this number of business associates. If you divide that by 3 and multiply by 150, so in the first year, you already make $230,000. Now look at the example here. Now, some people, when they say this example, say, yeah, right. Now, the person or the prospect here thinks that you're going to defend. Everyone's going to make this no. I use this example because I know that this example is not doable for more than 80 to 90% of people in the first year. Why? Because I know more than 80 to 90% of people are not willing to put 50% commitment. I made, alhamdulillah, more than this in the first year, more than double this. But also I know that more than 80% of people are not willing to put not 100% commitment, 50% commitment, because they still don't saw the vision, and the commitment will go up gradually. So I know that this example doesn't work for him, but the purpose I put it is what? Is I want to reverse psychology that prospect. The prospect thinks that I'm using this example to show him that everyone's going to make this in the first year. But in this example, I'm showing him the opposite. I'm making him feel that I'm in your side. I'm not the company side. So after I finish the example, I'll ask this question. Do you think that everyone is going to make this money in the first year? I will answer, absolutely not. A lot of people won't be able to do this example first year. Why? Not everyone is committed. Not everyone will work from day one. Someone will join and will start working after 3 months. Someone will join in the first month, sponsor 10 people. Someone will spend 6 months to sponsor 2 people. Not everyone is going to work on the same time with the same effort. But let's convert this example into a more realistic example. What do you think the percentage of success of that example? What do you think the percentage of people who will work immediately? Some will say 50% will work, 50% will not. Some will say 30, 70. Some will say 10% only will work, 90 will not work. But no one will expect that I'm going to use 1% success. I'm going to go beyond their imagination and putting the worst case scenario, as I promised in my first presentation, that I'll show you in the worst case scenario how you're going to wake up making in 3 years, $200,000, in 2 years, $100,000. How? I'm only using 1% success. So if only 1% success happened, that's what you're going to make first year. That's what you're going to make second year with 1% success. Now show me any business in the world. You can start in the biggest industry with 1% success and you can make in 2 years almost $100,000. Is that it? No. With 1% success in 2 years, you have 3,000 business associates. If everyone only referred 10 free customers, and those free customers in the whole entire year, they only gain $100 cashback, you're earning a residual income of $110,000 every single year. Is it from people recruiting? No. That's from the 1% duplication. And if we assume that your whole entire team stop recruiting, they're only living their life and they're getting in the whole entire year $100 cashback, you're having a residual income of $110,000 from people living their life. This is called projection. Those 4 slides are the projection. Is projecting what's possible for the prospect. What is the potential of that business? That's projection. Okay? So that's the 4th part of the presentation, which is projection. That's the 6th part of the presentation, which is the projection. So this is how simple our presentation is, ladies and gentlemen. It's very simple. Don't complicate it. You've got a homework. Go and memorize my presentation. Do it the same way I do until you have your own. When is the time you can qualify to change the presentation? When you start earning $10,000 per month and more. Why? Because as I said, our business is only 10% theory, 90% practice. You can never be able to judge on that business and change basic until you start performing. Performing means that you have built a team. You had gone through the up and down of building a team. You have gone through the challenges of building a team. You understand what does it mean to apply a system on ground. Until then, use a successful model. This is the presentation I've been using for the last 20 years of my career. By the way, I've never changed it. Almost the same sequence, the same method, the same style, the same skills. And for me, thanks God, my acceptance rate is more than 45%. And it works always like this. From all my prospects, when I look at my presenting, when I look at the people I presented in the last, I personally presented in the last 5 years with Doobly, it's almost 1,300 prospects I personally presented. I have more than 350 directs. And so many of them are VIPs, the rest, so many. You know, seriously, I've reached a limit where, you know, I wanted people to join as VIP. I know he's not gonna build the he's a moron. He said, no, I don't want a VIP. He's like, why? Join as a VIP, you're a moron. No, I want a team member. I reached to a level that I have challenged making people convinced to buy VIP because they want the business package. They want to promote the business. I didn't do anything super. I'm an engineer. I'm not a marketeer. I used to understand in drawings, specifications, calculations, equations, electronic engineering, communication, coding. That's what I understand. But also what I understand that we can be master. You know, one of the things that people say, you know, you have the gift of being a good presenter. That is bull sugar. That is bull sugar. And Tim Sells said that, not me. Tim Sells said, by joining the US Navy, I've learned that this is a bull sugar because no one was born as a diver. No one was born to do skydiving. No one was born to operate a rocket machine. We've learned that. I was a Navy, a US Army. I was never a marketeer, but I've learned that. Simply, the person is capable of changing whatever he or she wants to if he believes that's a career shift. But the problem of the sunk theory, what is the sunk theory? The sunk theory is normally people would love to avoid losing $100 than making $100. That's in people mindset. People, they would prefer, you know, the people mentality is like this. They love more to stop losing $100 than making $100. Whatever career you've been in, even if you're not satisfied, even if you're not financially free, you're having a very hard time to make a real shift because of the sunk theory. You're sunk into your past. You're afraid of losing the years of experience you had. You're afraid of using the hundreds or thousands or hundreds of thousands of dollars you spent on learning what you've learned up to today. And you're willing to lose another 15, 20 years being uncomfortable than just taking a risk. It's not that you cannot be. It's not the personality. Leadership can be taught. That's the proven science. Skills can be taught. Presentation skills can be taught. You can do exactly like my presentation, even much more strong. So please, guys, take today's advice into consideration. Start to master your presentation skills. You have to have a powerful presentation, and you will never monitor real expansion in your team unless you and your team start to do their presentation. So they can expand globally, internationally, they can build anytime, they can build anywhere, and their prospect will take them more serious. That was my share for tonight. That was my advice for tonight for this, the most important soft skills. The core activity of our business is presentation. So you've got to learn it, you've got to master it, and you've got to teach your team to do it to achieve financial freedom. Thank you so much. See you until our next system, until our next episode. And tomorrow, don't forget, 8 o'clock English presentation, 10 o'clock Arabic presentation. God bless you all.